Ogden City is considering a property tax hike to pay for a raise for city employees. The big reason, the mayor says, is to catch up with what other local governments are paying all around the Wasatch Front. And as Northern Utah specialist Mike Anderson explains, firefighters could be getting the biggest raise, Mike.
Yeah, Dini, that's because the fire chief says they are the farthest behind, about 14% when you compare it to other departments across the Wasatch Front. And Mayor Mike Caldwell says this is a problem that the city is facing as a whole. They are the services we need that Ogden City leaders say workers aren't getting paid enough for.
We thought it was really important that we took everything else off the budget agenda and just said our employees really matter.
Mayor Mike Caldwell says the pandemic and a drop in sales tax revenues takes a lot of the blame for city pay falling behind. While the raises would come in across the board, economic development could also get several new employees to help with the growth and redevelopment projects that continue to happen here.
We're going to need more hands to help with that and to help guide and direct that. And so we recognize that that's a critical part of what we're doing.
If it's all approved, police would get 3 new employees and the fire department getting a total of 6 new firefighters.
What we call the equity of coverage for this downtown station is not as good as it needs to be.
Chief Mike Matthews says calls for service in the downtown area have shot up nearly 80% over the past decade.
And so other stations are having to come in to fill in for when the other engine is busy on other calls.
The new employees would help with that, but he says the department as a whole is well behind the pay coming from others along the Wasatch Front.
We're not only losing firefighters to other departments, but another thing that's happening this last year and a half, is that we're losing them to the private sector.
Firefighters could get a 14% raise, police 8%, and the remaining employees 13%. It all depends on whether the people of Ogden will be willing to pay up.
These are really hard things to do. They're hard community conversations. I'm proud that our community is willing to have those.
And this all adds up to about a $2.8 million increase in the budget. The city council initially approved it, but it's still going to go through the state tax commission and then a truth and taxation hearing coming up in July.